Lake Norman Christian, Winston-Salem Christian on this Monday night from right around the lake here in Huntersville, North Carolina, here on SUV TV. Corey Hodges here with you tonight and ready to go for the final regular season action of 2020-2021. Tip time coming up here very, very shortly.
Lord, I thank you for this evening. We thank you for this place that we can enjoy this game. Pray that, first of all, that there would be a safe game ahead of us, that everyone would feel that they have played their best possible game. We especially thank you for the seniors who are represented tonight and their families that are here, and any of those joining us in the various ways that they can watch this game. Again, we thank you for each one of the gifts that you've given these players, and pray that they would play for your glory and to their best. We pray in Jesus' name. Amen. And so I'm going to start with the player introductions for Winston-Salem. So first, I don't know if they'll just give me a sign that they're ready. I'll go ahead and call them out. First, we have Erickson Jones, M.J. Martin, Jaden Spillman, Lewis Walker, and Eric Potter, and head coach Travis Holcomb-Bay. And again, if you will now welcome the Storm, with special emphasis on the seniors being introduced on their home court for the last time here. So we're going to start off with A.J. Allensbach. Jonathan Kurtaz. Dimitri McCall. Clay Robinson and J.P. Haggerty.
All right, well, some senior flair for the Lake Norman lineup. Again, the seniors tonight for this always talented, has been throughout the season, Lake Norman Christian team. A.J. Allensbach, Jonathan Curtis, Clayton Robinson, and Dimitri McCall. So we heard their names announced there in the starting lineup. Typical senior day, or in this case, senior night activity. You go ahead and put your seniors into the starting lineup, and so we see them out there now as part of the Lake Norman starting five. So Winston-Salem and Lake Norman getting set to go here on a Monday night, couple minutes past the bottom of the hour here on SUV TV. Welcome to one and all, and here we go from the circle as Curtis jumps it up, and Lake Norman will win the opening tip, and we're off and away on a Monday from this beautiful Lake Norman Christian facility. Dish inside to start to J.P. Haggerty, and Haggerty will lay it in, and that's the opening 2 points of the night. Lake Norman leads it 2-0. Haggerty, player who can move, has the size, agility. You can go up and down the Lake Norman roster and say that about this Osprey team. But Winston-Salem has some stars as well. Here's a dash to the basket, but it's blocked away by Curtis. That was Aaron Potter that time trying to go all the way. Potter's had quite a bit of talk about him so far this season. Here is Haggerty looking for a three, and it's Potter who comes down with the rebound. Winston-Salem Christian the other way. mid-range jumper try is short, missed by Lewis Walker. We'll highlight some of these Winston-Salem players as we go, but there are about 3 or 4 who have gained some local attention. There goes the and one play for J.P. Haggerty. Haggerty be hurt in the hoop, and he'll go to the line for the three-point play. So Haggerty misses the and one free throw try, and it's 4-0 Lake Norman. Some standouts for Winston-Salem this season, for Winston-Salem Christian. Lewis Walker, one to watch, and how about one of these bigs as well, Jaden Spillman-Martin. He's right in the same conversation with Riley Allensbach, and we get to see those two on the same floor here tonight in the regular season finale before the playoffs start here shortly. So with everything that's gone on with COVID this year, we're going to make it through the regular season and actually get to the playoffs and move into postseason action. Probably quite a few people didn't think we'd be able to do that, that the high school basketball season would fall apart, but it's been able to work its way through. See the masks on the floor. That's a North Carolina mandate. All players to wear those masks, even while on the floor in competition. There's a missed three by Potter. Allensbach has it. Robinson dishes it. Dimitri McCall. And that's an offensive foul. McCall got hit with charging. So Winston-Salem Christian will take back over. Kind of funny there on the floor before the opening tip. One of the Winston-Salem players walked up to the referees at midcourt and said, I can't even really breathe with this thing on. I think he really voices the concerns of so many out on the floor who have found it tough to play with the mask, but still, it's all for safety, and you have to understand that. Lewis Walker lays it in. Nice find that time from what looked to be Arrington Jones, who got it to Walker. 4-2 as Winston-Salem's on the board. A little bit too far away from Robinson, and that one will go out of bounds. It's a turnover. Clay Robinson's been in that backcourt this season along with Mikey, and then you get the just incredible backcourt duo, Trey Green and Mikey Williams. But we get a chance to see some of the seniors tonight for Lake Norman, a little bit more than we've been able to see them so far this season. Again, that's the way senior night goes. Pull-up jump shot banked in. So that'll even the contest at 4-all. Basket by MJ that time, MJ Martin. Off the front of the rim, boarded, up in a hurry and stuffed down one-handed for the slam. And that's Jaden that time with the stuff, Jaden Spillman-Martin. Curtis, a little trouble with it, bounces around. Winston-Salem Christian comes back up with it, a little too far ahead of Spillman-Martin. And that'll go out of bounds, and Lake Norman will take over. We've got our first timeout of the evening with 4:42 left in period number 1. 6-4 the edge for Winston-Salem Christian over Lake Norman here on SUV TV. Starting to find our balance a little bit, our bounce, if you will. First time tonight, we should go over some of the sponsors that have made our coverage of Lake Norman Christian basketball possible all season long, and it will continue as we go. And, of course, that's Zone Sports and Limitless Sports Events. Zone Sports and Limitless Sports Events. How about Limitless Sports Events? And remember, that's Sports, S-P-O-R-T-Z, a premier youth basketball tournament provider here in the Carolinas, priding themselves on giving teams and coaches an unrivaled tournament experience. Limitless Sports Events, and also remember that big Battle at the Lake tournament coming up here very soon. In fact, here in about a week, 2 weeks and change, and that battle will be going on. You can get in for under $400 and have some tournament play for your local team. Battle at the Lake coming up March 5th through the 7th, 3+ game guarantee. And it's the 5th annual Battle at the Lake. Back we go after the timeout by Winston-Salem Christian, and that's offensive on Allensbach, and the Lions will get it back. Some instructions there out of the following the offensive foul on Lake Norman as we Saw head coach Travis Holcomb Fay giving some instructions to his players on the floor. There's a senior banner. You can see it right under the basket on this side of the floor. It's just on this side with the cushioning behind the basket. The other side of the floor looks a little bit different behind that basket, but the 4 seniors for Lake Norman highlighted with a little poster there. Had a chance to check it out pregame. Nice little thing there to remind you of who the 4 seniors are. Here's a 3 from the corner, good by Jaden Spillman Martin. And Winston-Salem Christian leads at 9-4. Lake Norman testing out some players that haven't seen a whole lot of action this season, or at least not a whole lot of action together on the floor themselves. A contort, and it falls. Arrington Jones, tough basket, took the hit and got it. And Jones misses on the free throw. Keeping an eye on the chat here tonight. And remember, we'll try to include you in that. If you have any questions, you can include them in the chat. We'll try to answer them as we go here on this Monday. Ball's loose. Allensbach is on it. He still got it. It's being fought with there by Arrington Jones. And finally, it's Potter who comes up with it for Winston-Salem Christian. And Potter will hand it off. There's a whistle and a foul. And that'll be on the Lions, so Lake Norman will get it back, and that was on Lewis Walker that time. So Clayton Robinson will bring it up, a little bit of a press, so he has to send it away to Allensbach. McCall, Robinson, and that'll go the other way, offensive again on Lake Norman. So we'll see 3 come in now for the Osprey as Trey Green will make an appearance. Get to see Shane Fernald coming in. And also we get to see Reggie Bullock make an appearance. So Josh Bullock in, Fernald, Shane Fernald, and then we saw Trey Green. So we get to see that backcourt mate tonight, but no Mikey this evening, getting a chance for a little bit more rest, still getting ready for the postseason. But we do get to see just about everyone else, and when you see Trey Green on the floor, you might as well be seeing some of the best parts of Mikey Williams out there, because Trey Green has learned a lot this season with his backcourt mate. 11-4 the edge for Winston-Salem over Lake Norman. 2:20 to go, quarter number 1. Curtis is down in the crouch defensively. Now here's Potter going against Green. Give it back now to MJ Martin. Martin. Lake Norman's done a good job of having that perimeter defense, forcing the Lions to give the ball away. Now it's Curtis on Martin. Went out of bounds. Curtis gets a breather, and Riley Allensbach is in. So Winston-Salem Christian will call a timeout, up 11-4. A little under 2 minutes left here in the opening quarter. Gives us a chance to look back so far this season on Lake Norman as everything kind of rounds to a finish here on this Monday. But it was obviously when Mikey came over, everyone in our chat will, I'm sure, agree with this tonight and understand why it came to be. You know, an 18-6 could be 19-6 campaign with a win here tonight. But Mikey came over, changed a lot for this Lake Norman team, and then of course the Osprey making their coaching change a couple weeks ago, and they've been even better since that time. It really didn't disrupt them too much, and they've scored well, they've played great defense, and they've really shown on the national stage, or at least when they've had national coverage, whether it was the battle a couple weeks ago and of course starting off the season on ESPN, but when they've had a big spotlight on them, course, they've had our SUV TV spotlight throughout the season, but they've played well on the live stream and on the national broadcasts. And now we get to see them here very soon in the postseason. It'll be interesting to see how they handle things when it comes to a tournament-style atmosphere, but they've been in plenty of tournaments this season, and that's really why you have those in-season tournaments. It prepares you for the postseason, and we'll see that here very shortly. This may be one of those kind of tune-up games to get you ready for postseason play. 97 seconds left, first quarter. Potter, Bullock in front of him. One of the rare times this season an opposition team has gotten out to a pretty decent lead over Lake Norman. Some of that can be attributed to the unusual looking starting five, with the Osprey going with the 4 seniors in the starting five tonight. This one knocked away. Fernald was able to save it, went into the first row of VIP seating, if you will. That went out of bounds, and so Winston-Salem Christian will take back over. Potter wanted to do the inbound again with Walker. A minute left first quarter. A low-scoring first period, but Winston-Salem Christian still has the lead, up by 7, 11-4. Fernald all over Arrington Jones, and here's Potter again. Open three, look. It's a little bit too much. Joyful Hawkins was there for the rebound, but it was Potter who came in and got 2 out of it. 13-4, the lead goes to 9 for Winston-Salem Christian. One of the rare times when Joyful Hawkins actually got beat just a little bit on the board, but he's not going to get beat there for the offensive try, and sends it away to Trey Green, who got it and a foul. Trey Green, H&H, hoop and harm opportunity try, and the three-point play on the way for one of the best in the backcourt in the state of North Carolina, and that's Trey Green, who will go to the free throw line. Green ready to go after the basket did count. Or will they erase that? Looks like it's standing for the moment. Check on that. Yeah, it is. All right, so 13-7. Remember, had to get a new backboard here at Lake Norman Christian. It was broken a couple weeks ago, and the Osprey had to change it up. Actually played at a fitness facility not too far from here, maybe about 10 or so minutes away, and that's where they had their temporary home, but now they're back in their usual gym. Beautiful facility here in Huntersville. Well, good defense for Lake Norman at the end of the first quarter, denying Winston-Salem Christian any other points, but they lead at 13-7, so only 20 combined first period points, but it is a Lions lead after 1, so Lake Norman, if they want to capture their regular season finale, will have to work a bit in period number 2. 13-7 lead for Winston-Salem Christian over Lake Norman Christian. We'll come back, second quarter on the way, 8 minutes when we return on SUV TV. We're back, 8 fresh minutes here in quarter number 2. Zone Sports Limitless Sports Events are proud sponsors tonight for our Monday evening coverage of Lake Norman and Winston-Salem from Huntersville, North Carolina. Corey Hodges back here with you on SUV TV. Appreciate everyone hopping aboard. A little bit of Monday night basketball. Winston-Salem has the early edge. Can they keep it? Well, at least for the moment, it's Lake Norman with the defensive play as Fernald got in on the basketball. Drive by Trey Green. Not quite taken back over by Arrington Jones and Winston-Salem Christian. Good handoff. And will that one count? Put in by Kane that time, but for the moment, looks like it'll stay 13-7, so that basket waved off. Heard a little mention of a double dribble in there possibly for Kane, so wave that one off. It stays 13-7. Not a whole lot of information on Winston-Salem Christian in terms of how they've played so far this season. Schedule's been a little spotty. COVID has certainly played an issue or two with that, but they entered tonight with the information that we had on hand at 7-2 on the season. Turnover. Joyful Hawkins will lay it in, but is that going the other way? Or they're going to take the basket away from Hawkins. Well, looks like it should count. 13-9 now, the edge, and so a three-point play try here for Hawkins. Can't get the three-point play, but he did get the lay in to make it a 4-point game. 7-2 this season. We mentioned for Winston-Salem Christian, wins over University Prep, Forsyth home, Central Carolina. Had a pretty good little winning streak through the latter stages of January. Started their season back in mid-November with a win over Gospel Light. Lay in to make it 16-9. There's a turnover as Green was trying to loft it up to Hawkins. Officials will confer next to the stacked seating. And this will be Lake Norman ball. You saw the clap after the turnover by Fernald, so the Osprey will get another chance after the almost turnover. Winston-Salem Christian bungled it a little bit, so Lake Norman stays on this end. Riley Allen's back. Fernald back to Hawkins. And now Josh Bullock. Mistakenly said Reggie Bullock a little bit earlier. There's a reason for that, of course. For those who follow the NBA, Reggie Bullock's been a big player for a while. There's no relation, of course. That's just on me. That was from earlier for those that maybe caught that in the chat. If nothing else, I wanted to make sure that we had it correct, but it's kind of funny. 6:20 to go, second quarter, 16-9 the edge for Winston-Salem Christian. They've had a good start looking for a win here tonight. It would be a little bit of an upset even though Mikey's not in. There's a lay-in. Good by Lewis Walker, so it's a doubling up right now. Winston-Salem Christian over Lake Norman. Here it goes to Riley Allenspach, and that one counts, and a foul for Allenspach, the other brother of A.J. Allenspach, one of our four seniors tonight that we saw on the floor pregame for Lake Norman, and there was even a little funny jab in there from A.J. to Riley pregame. His not-so-little brother, Riley Allenspach, was part of A.J.'s little speech that he wrote up for his senior spotlight pregame. Had one of the Lake Norman history teachers on the floor that were reading out some of those written statements prior to senior night, where the seniors had a chance to reflect on their time here. Had some funny quotes and some little quips. Nice little way to get a chance to find out more about some of the character, some of the sense of humor of some of these players that you really don't ever get a chance to find out about unless you're on the bus, unless you're working with the team. Players just come out onto the floor and they give you the highlights, but you don't really truly know maybe if they have a light sense of humor, if they're a little bit more understated, kind of where their thoughts are. You don't get a chance to find that out, but it was a little enlightening there pregame. Fernald will get set to key it into Hawkins. Now back to Fernald, 5:38 to go before half. Taken away, turnover. Generated by Tay that time, and that's a travel. Winston-Salem Christian has done a pretty good job to hold on to what is still, at the moment, a 6-point edge. A little over 5.5 left before our halftime pause. Here's Trey Green into front court. Green split the defenders, now trying to finish it. Will it fall in the foul? If it does, that's quite the play. And it will for Trey Green. Green got in between two, laid it in, heard the whistle, and he's got a three-point play on the way. Fantastic dribbling by Green. His ability to cut right through. Green completes the three-point play, and it's a three-point game. MJ Martin against Joyful Hawkins. Jones against Green. Jones will take the three. Not there, recovered by Trey Green. Green dancing, bouncing, tried to bank it. It's off, recovered by Potter. Got a little bit of flow going now. It's been quite a bit of start and stop here to start in the first quarter and change. There's an air ball picked up by Hawkins. Get to see Lake Norman in the open floor. Joyful tried to pop it up and lay it in. Then he went right back up with it, followed, but that will be offensive on the Osprey, and the 2 points waved off. Robinson, Bullock, Green, Riley, and A.J. Allen's back on the floor for Lake Norman Christian with 4:42 left in the first half. And it's just a three-point ball game. Potter. Went out of bounds, staying with the Lions. Curtis will come in for Riley Allensbach. Potter has to get it over the waving arms of Robinson. He does, and finds Jones against Green. And Trey Green can get up on you one-on-one defensively too. Remember that big shot he hit at the Battle, the big shot that wound up winning it against Victory Christian, one of the statement wins this season for Lake Norman. Mid-range shot, in and out. Missed by Aries, still live, and it's Arrington Jones who was on it, ruled a jump ball, and it will be Lake Norman basketball. A.J. Allensbach will scuffle back to bounce it in. Josh Bullock pulls up, got it. Bullock had the space and swished it. 1 point game. Potter against Robinson. Potter got Curtis to almost fall into him, and then the three was put up by Arrington Jones, but it was off. Foul on Green for Lake Norman, and we've got free throws for one Arrington Jones. And so we've got a timeout now on the floor with 3:44 left. I guess now the question will be, is that a foul on a three-point try or a two-point try? We were getting ready to see the free throws, but got a pause on the floor as, again, our coverage tonight presented by Zone Sports and Limitless Sports Events. As we near the top of the hour and that big battle at the lake coming up March 5th through the 7th, 3+ game guarantee. You can learn more and register at Limitless Sports. That's sports, sportz.com. 5th annual battle at the lake. And also Limitless Sports Events. Remember, they're a premier youth basketball tournament provider right here in the Carolinas, priding themselves on giving teams and coaches an unrivaled tournament experience. Zone Sports, Limitless Sports Events are partners all season long and tonight as well here on SUB TV. I'm interested in the playoffs coming up for sure to see how Lake Norman fares, and when the bracket is released. So Arrington Jones gets the first free throw. And he did get fouled on a three-point try, so 2 left for Jones. Could see one of the rare 3 free throw trip to the line for Arrington Jones after he got fouled from behind the line. And he got all 3. Little point to the rafters, and it's 21-17 Winston-Salem over Lake Norman with 3:39 to go before intermission. We'll keep checking in on our chat. Corner here for A.J. Allensbach, in and out. Some still asking tonight, where's Mikey Williams? Mikey not playing tonight. Didn't get 100% for sure on his reason for absence tonight. Obviously not something to speculate on, but remember he had that groin injury a little bit earlier in the season. Could be a rest game as well. Remember the postseason's coming up, so. There goes Clay Robinson from 3 to match his jersey number, 1-point game. Robinson again had some space, a little tiny step back there and swished it for 3. Pull-up jump shot, too strong. Potter comes down with it after the miss by Aries. And now Curtis is in there, and he moves away all defenders and claims that rebound for himself. 3 in the corner. In and out by Green, but flushed in by Jonathan Curtis. So Curtis with a 2-handed follow, and Lake Norman leading for the first time tonight. This is as loud as the gym has been all night. A pretty serene atmosphere, almost church-like pregame, which is fitting. Lake Norman Christian, but the feet are stomping now. We've got some big sound in the building, and now Clay Robinson comes up with a loose ball, and Robinson, he almost got it to fall on the foul, but he'll go to the line for 2 free throws with the Osprey up by 1 with 2:07 left before intermission. Just took a little while to get all the gears going, get everything oiled and lathered up a little bit, and then moving. Sometimes it takes a quarter and change to get things really clicking. Robinson gets the first, and Winston-Salem making a wholesale change and getting 4 new Lions to come in. Robinson with 2, 24-21. Lake Norman by 3, 2 minutes to go before the break. Joel Nitty checking in on our chat, talking about SUV TV coming in clutch with the games. We appreciate that. It's been fun this season to travel around, and it's pretty easy for me living right here in the area, but I know for the rest of the SUV TV team, a little bit more travel for them to come to these games, but it's been a team effort all the way around. It's been fun to be at so many of them and really get a chance to develop a little bit of chemistry, not just with the Lake Norman team, but their opposition, and really become extra uber familiar with these Lake Norman players, almost to the point now you don't even have to glance down at a roster sheet. You know the numbers by heart, which usually doesn't happen in high school basketball. Sometimes you're lucky to get maybe a couple games for a team each season, but streaming is big right now, and also big is that 3 for Clay Robinson. Another one to match his jersey number. 27-21 as Lake Norman now leads by 6. Winston-Salem was all over Lake Norman to start, but the Osprey have come alive. That'll be a foul on Lake Norman, and with both teams in a bonus situation, it'll be free throws. A 1-and-1 try is missed by Kane and tipped on the fingers of Robinson, almost lost it into the scorer's table, but good reflexes there to still come up with the basketball and keep it alive for the Osprey. Knocked away from Curtis, under a minute to go before half. Feed it. Spillman Martin missed it. Allen's back with the rebound. 6-point edge for the Osprey. Robinson took a big bump against Kane. Ball still loose. On the floor goes Haggerty. Bounds to Dimitri McCall, one of the 4 seniors tonight, but then McCall gets hit with the traveling call. It'll be Winston-Salem basketball. Christian Cornish will send it in. Kane against Robinson. Clay Robinson, who's been hot here in the latter stages of the second quarter with that 3-point shot that's really elevated Lake Norman up by 6 here in the regular season finale. Kane, Robinson one-on-one battle. 12 seconds left, first half. Walker will pull up. Lewis Walker's in and out. Green with the rebound. Got a hustle. 5 seconds left. Second quarter. Tried to give it away to Haggerty. But now a whistle stops the surge down the floor for the Osprey. And that's a foul on Winston-Salem Christian. Again, bonus situation. And it'll be Trey Green to the line for his 1-and-1 try. After a quick conference for 2 of our 3 officials here on the floor. So foul is on Lewis Walker for Winston-Salem Christian. And Green now will take these free throws all by his lonesome. It gets the first, 28-21 Lake Norman. So both now 29-21. Both teams back on the floor, and Green's ready to go. Picks the basketball right back up, staying Lake Norman ball. 2 seconds left, 1 tick left. Heaved up at the end of the first half. It's off by Kane, and that's how the opening half wraps up. 29-21, the edge for Lake Norman. They storm back in the second period, and they take an 8-point edge at the intermission break. So we'll jump away, come back for second half action. 10 minutes for the halftime pause. Remember to keep sending along those questions. We'll try to check back in on that chat and keep you entertained as we go through the second half here on SUV TV on this Monday night from Huntersville, North Carolina. We're back now, ready for second half action here from Huntersville, North Carolina on SUV TV. Corey Hodges here with you tonight, and again, we encourage you to keep rolling in the chat for those that hung around with us over the halftime break. We hope every single one of you did. A little over 300 checking in right now, and the first question that I see as I look up on the chat is from Shay D asking when the playoffs are. Well, they start here very shortly, within about a week, and we'll get the North Carolina high school playoffs going. And we'll have to take a look at that as we go. But again, they're coming up very shortly, and we will see those rolling through the end of February and into early March as we roll here in the second half. Third quarter action, 8 fresh minutes with Lake Norman ahead by 8. 29-21 the edge for the Osprey. And no, not an injury earlier in the game for Mikey Williams from Cole Smith checking in on our chat, something that Mikey's been dealing with throughout the season. Gets a chance for a little bit of rest tonight, and everything looking just fine for Mikey with the postseason coming up, so nothing to fear there. Now, Winston-Salem Christian, for those that did join us in the first half, and maybe an update for those that did not or were not able to, Winston-Salem Christian got off to a nice little lead, leading by 7-8 points, but then Lake Norman came surging back, and there is a turnover taken away from Lewis Walker. One of the spotlight players for Winston-Salem Christian on this team is Walker. Walker young, but already displaying impressive signs of maturity, overall understanding of the game, tough, skilled, able to seamlessly defend multiple positions. Now Walker for Winston-Salem Christian, top 20 scorer in the state as a freshman. And so he continues to grow, build, get better. That was Robinson who was trying to find A.J. Allensbach. And a push-off foul. It'll stay Lake Norman ball. Haggerty bouncing it to Allensbach, who tried to find Curtis, threw it into double coverage. If that's a football throw, that's picked off. That time it was turned over. And there's a lay-in on the other side by Arrington Jones. First 2 points of the second half, they go to Winston-Salem Christian. Bounce it, one of the 4 seniors tonight for Lake Norman. That's Dimitri McCall. Inside to Jonathan Curtis. And Curtis, as that was a fall by Lewis Walker. And then on the other side is Jaden Spillman Martin, who lays it in. So a good start here out of half for the Lions, and Lake Norman will call a timeout. 29-25, the lead for the Osprey down to 4 as we have played a minute and a half and change, a minute 35 to be exact. So as we pick back up here in third quarter play, remember Limitless Sports Events and Zone Sports are sponsors tonight with the Battle at the Lake coming up here very shortly in early March. And of course we're right around the Lake Norman area, so that's fitting for, again, one of our season-long sponsors for SUV TV's season-long coverage of Lake Norman Christian basketball. But back to Walker for Winston-Salem Christian. He's one to watch per Phenom Hoop Report, which is such a great little book, not just for broadcasters, but for really anyone trying to figure out who's hot in high school basketball in the state of North Carolina. But actually, Riley Allensbach, along with Jaden Spillman Martin, were on the noteworthy bigs list. And this was posted less than a week ago, 6 days ago to be exact, for noteworthy bigs of the class of 2023. Riley Allensbach was on it along with Jaden Spillman Martin, who at 6'8" has the size, and he's wearing number 12 out there for the Lions tonight in their black and white unis. Here's Robinson with the 3, in and out. He's got a good touch tonight from there. He'll get a reload try from Dimitri McCall, but he stepped in and then he lost it. But that'll be a foul on the Lions, and it's on to Spillman Martin, so Lake Norman will keep it. Allensbach out to Robinson. kind of the forgotten third man in a way this season for Lake Norman, as J.P. Haggerty will go around and out on a three, but then it's Allensbach, or rather, check that, Jonathan Curtis that time, who got in there to slam it down. Eyes deceived us there for a moment. Who else but Jonathan Curtis to get in and rattle the rim on a cleanup jam. 31-25, Lake Norman leads by 6. 5:49 left, third quarter. Driving. In the corner, that's Arrington Jones. Now he'll back it out and goes against Dimitri McCall. There's a large curtain that obscures some of our vision for a little bit, so a lot of acrobatics going on up here tonight. Whenever someone for whichever team is on the left-hand side of the floor from our broadcasting position, whenever they get behind that curtain, they really disappear over there in the corner. So a little bit of a workout going up and going on out here tonight. Got to crane the neck a little bit to find out where the player has disappeared to into the corner. Keeps us on our toes, if nothing else. Lewis Walker will get set to send it in. Got to move a box right along the baseline area, or at least the out-of-bounds line. Something was obscuring and troubling the footing there of Walker, but play resumes. This is the invisible corner right here for Arrington Jones, and moves it back out against Trey Green. Jones driving against Green, kick it to the corner. Baseline drive by Kane, off by Walker, and here comes Robinson, who will bounce it. That one got whacked away from J.P. Haggerty, who was soaring to the rim. Picked up his pace considerably, did J.P. Haggerty, and he gets rewarded with 2 free throws. Fouls on Arrington Jones. So Haggerty gets them both. 33-25, the lead for Lake Norman, up now by 8. Starting to take command a little bit after Winston-Salem Christian got off to the quick start. All 4 of Lake Norman seniors got to see playing time, and really, with the exception of Curtis and Allensbach, we saw 2 in there, Dimitri McCall and Clay Robinson, who have not seen as much starting action so far this season. So it was a little start and stop to begin with, because there were 4 players on the floor for Lake Norman who have not had a lot of action together so far this season. But like everything that has gone down in 2020-2021 for the Osprey, Lake Norman worked that out pretty quickly, and before you knew it, all 4 of those were working in lockstep with the other one, and the starting 5, or at least the 5 that was on the floor for the latter stages of the first half, were clicking seamlessly, as they have done so far throughout most of the season. Put in by Spillman Martin. Jaden Spillman Martin getting reps, continuing to get better. Rare combination of rim protection, perimeter shooting. We've seen his shooting touch on display quite a few times tonight. There's a traveling call as Haggerty was running after it. Spillman Martin also that wiry frame and moving well for his size at that 6'8" mark. That goes with Riley Allensbach, who's 6'10". Here's Jonathan Curtis. Curtis on the other end, taking it the entire distance of the floor and then slamming it down one-handed. So Curtis has a cleanup jam here in the third quarter. Now he has one on a transition stuff. 35-27. The lead for Lake Norman, starting to edge it out a little bit and getting that dunk game going. 3 on the way, boarded by Allensbach, missed by Arrington Jones. Green meeting 2, gets it to Jonathan Curtis, who lost it. He was double teamed right underneath the basket, but it stays here with the Osprey. And Robinson tried to bounce it, but he bounced it into a turnover. Now on the other side with the lay-in is Arrington Jones. 35-29, down to a 6-point edge for Lake Norman, and the Osprey will call a timeout. 3:04 left here in the third quarter. Took a bit, but now we're seeing both teams moving up and down. Remember, too, for sometimes games like this get a little lost in the action, if you will, with the way things just fly by with high school basketball. Sometimes games like this can get a little bit forgotten about, but can't forget about what comes up very shortly with the playoffs and how this is almost like one of those playoff tune-up games in a way. Again, checking out our chat. Good to see everyone engaging as we have a 35-29 game here from Huntersville tonight with 3:04 left in the third quarter, and Lake Norman ahead by 6. For about 320 checking in so far tonight. Another busy evening for our SUV TV with multiple contests going on at one time, and everything pulled off very well once again. And thanks to all for checking out both events here tonight and spending some time with our Lake Norman coverage too. Out of bounds, lost it. That's a turnover as Green and Bullock were there. And it was Green who lost it trying to find Jonathan Curtis, who's been a big part of the offense so far here in the third quarter for the Osprey. Jones was driving, kick it now, mid-range jumper good by Lewis Walker. So pause it again as it's down to a 4-point game, 35-31. Feel like a lot of teaching opportunities here tonight for both coaches. That's Patrick McCarthy for Lake Norman, who took over about a month ago, and everything's been pretty seamless for this team, even with the coaching change. And then for Winston-Salem Christian tonight, Travis Holcomb-Fay along with Jordan Leak out there. And both Leak and Holcomb-Fay have been working over those officials and making sure everything is to their liking. And they were even checking a little bit earlier about what they deemed a foul that maybe was issued on a wrong player. One player blocked it off the glass, the other one picked up the foul. They were even going into the, if you're not a coach, if you don't understand coaching, you would think maybe that's a little bit of minutia to try to figure out who actually picked up the foul. But of course that means a whole lot over the grand scheme of a game, and a good coach is not going to even let a foul discrepancy pass them by. And it's been pretty impressive to be within maybe shouldn't say that close, especially with COVID, maybe about 6-7 feet away from Travis Holcomb-Fay, and to be able to hear him very well tonight in a gym where the sound travels quite a bit. Always interesting to listen to coaches and see how they go throughout the course of a game, and the ebbs and flows, ups and downs of a game. And we're within earshot of everybody here tonight from our position on the theater stage, which is right next to the court. Trey Green misses on the mid-range try, boarded by Lewis Walker, and Winston-Salem Christian down by 4, coming back, but there's a turnover. Bullock took it away, get it up now to Trey Green, to Jonathan Curtis. Green put it up, Curtis slammed it down, and big number 12 has been explosive here in the third quarter. That's his third dunk in the third frame. Jonathan Curtis in transition. There's your highlight right there. So it'll be Riley Allensbach to come in along with Joyful Hawkins. You exchange a little bit of bounce there for Curtis. You take out Curtis's high-flying power as he gets some dap on the way back to the bench. And you put in Joyful Hawkins, who can match it dunk for dunk. Hawkins, his long arms getting up on the inbound. So Tay will inbound now, has to get it over Hawkins. He does. That's no small task against a very tall player. Through the hands of Riley Allensbach and laid in by Lewis Walker. 37-33, 4-point edge for Lake Norman. Under 2 to go, third quarter. Green will try to get it to go. Hawkins was there. He got fouled. And Joyful Hawkins will step to the free throw line. That's where that 6'5" and up sort of size comes in handy if you're Joyful Hawkins, who has gotten probably the most attention on this team, at least college-wise so far, at least from colleges that are prominent schools here in the South. Hawkins has multiple offers from some SEC teams, and if you've paid attention to Joyful Hawkins so far this season, he's not just a rim rattler. He can move with the basketball well. He's gazelle-like down the floor. Misses both free throws, but that's actually pretty rare for Joyful Hawkins, who typically is a pretty good knockdown free throw shooter. Guess there's always something to work on, right? That's the way it goes. Lay-in try off, but followed by Walker after Jones couldn't go on both taps. 2-point game. This has been close throughout. Riley Allensbach will try a three in the corner, and he got it. Showing off that range, AJ and Riley Allensbach, both of them can hit that three ball, and they can get out there in the corner, and their size allows them sometimes to shoot over their defenders, and those extra inches really pay dividends. Well, a little free play chance here for Lewis Walker and Winston-Salem Christian. 3-point game, 40-37. Lake Norman, 55 seconds to go, third quarter. Hawkins. Here is Green. And Fernald, who hasn't seen a whole lot of playing time tonight, but did he get the lay-in to go? He did. Shane Fernald down on the baseline, contorting a bit, moving away and out of his defender's reach, and then got the and one try. So the free throw could complete 3-point play as Fernald steps up. So 2 points, all that Fernald will get on that try down the floor. Jaden Spillman Martin cleaned up the miss. Harrington Jones against Bullock. Jones going against Josh Bullock, and Bullock playing that tough defense to force Jones back out 7-8 paces from the perimeter. Gets a little round of applause from the fans in attendance as well. Most of them parents, family members of the seniors this evening. And they're all gathered in. 5-point game, Lake Norman up, 10 seconds left, third quarter. Driving now goes Jones. Tried to go off the window. It was a difficult shot. That's why he had to force it up high, but it was cleaned by Lewis Walker. Fling by Bullock at the end of the third is short, and it's a 3-point game with Lake Norman ahead, 42-39, with the fourth quarter on the way next here on SUV TV. And our sponsors, Zone Sports, limitless sports events, providing coverage all season long and tonight as well, with the fourth quarter coming up, SUV TV. From Huntersville, North Carolina, Corey Hodges and Marcus Burnett here with you on SUV TV, our two-person crew here tonight from Lake Norman Christian as we roll in the fourth quarter. It's been a good game back and forth. It's only a 3-point game as we start things for our final 8 minutes of regulation. Good move by Shane Fernald, and Fernald going all the way to the cushioning behind the basket to let out some emotion. He likes it. He's got another 3-point play try coming up. Couldn't get the last one to go. Can Fernald bounce back and get this 3-point play with the green light? Oh, yeah. That edges it out 45-39. That was a deep find there for Kane that time, and then he had to toss it back out.
Guys, we got to cut the driver off.
And so Kane now will get sent inbound. Interesting there, too. We're so close to the coaches, you can sometimes hear some of their instructions. And head coach Patrick McCarthy for Lake Norman telling his team, got to cut the driver off. And that means a guy like Kane who drives in again. Now, that time he did get cut off as Riley Allensbach was right in front of him. Up now quickly to Trey Green, who's over there in the coffin corner, it's sometimes referred to as, right next to the bench. And he got cut off as well. So now Lake Norman still in this bonus situation, and they'll be in the bonus for the rest of regulation. That'll send Trey Green to the free throw line. Lake Norman knocking on the 50-point door. Missed on the second. Everly was in there trying to clean it, but Lake Norman gets it back. Almost a no look to Joyful Hawkins, who will bounce it, and it's laid in by Riley Allensbach. Good two-man work that time between Hawkins and senior A.J. Allensbach's brother, Riley. 48-39, Lake Norman head by 9. Air ball from Everly. Green takes back over, quick, up to Joyful Hawkins. Tossed it underneath the rim, caught a little bit of the net on that desperation heave out of trouble. Picked up and put in by Lewis Walker, who's been very productive over the last 6-7 minutes of play, going back to the latter stages of the third quarter. Lewis Walker, who was one of the top players for Winston-Salem Christian, he's probably gotten the most talk of anyone for this Lions team. Now talking on the other side, laid in by TJ that time, and it's 48-43, the 5-point edge for Lake Norman. Now, Winston-Salem Christian can run. It's not a problem whatsoever for them to get a stop and then move the other way. We've seen it on a handful of occasions. That most recent lay-in makes this a 5-point game. 6:15 to go in regulation. Arrington Jones against Bullock. Everly against Allensbach. Kick it. Here's Spillman Martin for the three. Halfway down and out. Up in a hurry to Joyful Hawkins, and Hawkins will lay it in. What a find by Trey Green. Green's court vision is astounding. And that's a travel. So TJ gets hit with the too many steps call, and it'll be Lake Norman basketball after that beautiful assist by Trey Green down to Joyful Hawkins. When you have such a big target like that, it's like a big, tall wide receiver in football, and it's college football, pro ball, doesn't matter. Just like if it's high school basketball, college ball, or pro ball, you get a big target on the other end of the floor. It makes it so easy to just feed that bigger player, and when they can run like Joyful Hawkins, they're usually in a good position to score. That's offensive, and it'll go the other way. Back to Winston-Salem Christian. Lay in good by Arrington Jones. Good find too, and Jones sealed it off. Allensbach loose, and there's a turnover. Spillman Martin, that's offensive. Lake Norman ball as Spillman Martin gets hit with the charging call as he ran into his defender. A little bit of perspiration on that end. Lake Norman's bench was ready with a towel, but no need. Players got the kicks going and squeaked it up a little bit and cleaned up whatever moisture there was on the opposite end of the floor from where we are now in front court. Bullock, Allensbach. Bullock against Spillman Martin. Tried to feed Hawkins. That was Allensbach. It's a turnover. Jones. Potter will try out a three. That's an air ball from Aaron Potter. Potter was open, thought about it. Not the worst shot in the world to take, especially when you're open and the ball finds you, but didn't touch any of the rim, and that's a turnover on the air ball to Lake Norman, 50-45. Osprey ahead by 5, 4:34 to go on this Monday in regulation. Hawkins, that was almost a half shot, half pass that time from Hawkins as Allen Spack and Curtis were down there. It'll stay Lake Norman ball. Bonus situation again, can't forget about that. Jonathan Curtis at the free throw line. Curtis gets some love from Bullock, and he'll try for the split. Missed on both. Clean by Walker. Loose as Josiah Everly that time couldn't control it. 4:22 left, and that's another giveaway, and Lake Norman has it again. Allen Spack will drive, but he couldn't finish. But he did get fouled, and A.J. Allen Spack will go to the free throw line. And Allen Spack is pure on the first free throw try. Not only is Lake Norman in a bonus situation, but also still picking up regular fouls as well. And this will stay with Lake Norman as it looked like Spillman Martin was pursuing the basketball and he couldn't keep it from going out of bounds after he last touched it, so Lake Norman will stay on their end of the floor after the split at the line. And the missed free throw actually results in Lake Norman keeping the ball. Here's Trey Green for three, and that's his shot. Trey Green has been hitting deep threes like that over the last month and a half, 2 months. It sealed the win against Victory Christian. It helped Lake Norman to win the battle against Ypsi Prep down in Greenville about 2 weeks ago. And Trey Green hits another big three. Big shot, Trey. There's a three on the other side in response by Josiah Everly. 1-3 deserving another. 54-48, a 6-point edge for Lake Norman over Winston-Salem Christian with 3:36 to go here in regulation tonight. Zone Sports, Limitless Sports Events are partners tonight for our Monday coverage with the playoffs coming up. So officials gather and everyone gets a chance to catch their breath a little bit here before the final 3 minutes and change. Again, we go back and you see the standouts coming in. Riley Allen's back getting a mention. Spillman Martin was highlighted. Lewis Walker was highlighted, and that really has paid dividends as Walker has been on the Rising Stars team here locally, also down in the South Carolina area, but you can see why Lewis Walker that is for Winston-Salem Christian, was billed as a top 20 scorer. He's played very well here since halftime. And this game is still close as well. We can't forget about that. Only a 6-point game, and again, no Mikey tonight for Lake Norman, getting a chance to take a breather, take a break, still nursing his groin injury and hoping to get back to as close as 100% as he can be for the postseason. But still, Lake Norman has shown throughout the season that even with Mikey taking a seat, they can still win. And Trey Green's a big part of that. The bigs are a big part of that. And big shot Trey along with A.J. Allen's back, Joyful Hawkins. You put all these on the floor at once, kind of like they are now. Allen's back's there, Trey Green's there, Hawkins is there. Jonathan Curtis, too, who actually made a joke pregame that initially everyone thought that Jonathan Curtis was Russian because of how he pronounced his last name. Pronounce it any way you want it that time. It's still 2 points in any language on the lay-in for Jonathan Curtis, but initially some people were pronouncing it Kurtas, and so that led some to believe that Jonathan Curtis was Russian. I don't know how much validity that holds. It feels like more of a high school joke than anything, but you never know. But it's Jonathan Curtis, not Kurtas, and so that was part of some of the fun pregame for the senior spotlight on Curtis. It's actually a joke that he put into the speech that was read by one of the history teachers here at Lake Norman about how initially there was some confusion. Joyful Hawkins confusing the defenders, and Hawkins flying in, two-handed jam. Hawkins can roll through that lane, he can fly, he can get up high, and Lake Norman leads by 10, 58-48. Touch your heads. Trey Green tapping it, coming back. Joyful Hawkins. That attention from Ole Miss and others. You can see why he can rock the rim. And he's now at the line because, remember, that counts for a three-point play. He got fouled in the process. And Hawkins will try to complete the three-point trip. And he got it. Lake Norman by 11, 2:47 to go.
Come on, Trey. Do it. Talk to him. Good, yes.
Taken away by Joyful Hawkins. Left his defender in the dust. And then Joyful, is that going to be called off on a charging call? It is. But Hawkins, that thin line sometimes that you ride between it being offensive or actually getting away with it. Hawkins took it away from his defender. The defender fell, and Hawkins was gone. He blew by everyone, and in a flash, he was on the other end of the floor, but a little bit of extra moisture cleaned up around the midcourt line as well from that fall. But that just goes to show you Hawkins can move down the floor like a guard. You know, at being a couple inches shy of 7 feet, Hawkins, you know, he can move like a 6'1" guard, and you saw at that time he's as much of a menace in transition as maybe Mikey would be or Trey Green would be. And there's not a whole lot to Joyful Hawkins either. There's a splashed in three. Pretty good look on the shot. First 3 points of the night actually on that three. And it's good by Boraden that time to cut this down to an 8-point game. But again, now time's getting a little short, which is 2:15 left. So we move towards the finish line on a Monday, 10 minutes shy of 9 o'clock. Started this thing at 7:30. Had the 30-minute little extra time for those that joined us at 7, our initial scheduled start time. Of course, the 30 extra minutes were there for the senior spotlight. And all 4 seniors for Lake Norman were honored pregame. Winston-Salem Christian had their own senior spotlight, senior festivities about a week and a half ago. And actually, Winston-Salem Christian has their own personal streaming service as well, where they stream their games. So it's a good chance to check out some of their players too, at least for a little bit of pregame prep for those that have to do that kind of thing. But that was the reason for the extra 30 minutes tacked on. That's why we really didn't get started until the bottom of the hour at 2 minutes past 7:30. Back we go now, 2:07 to go in regulation. Josh Bullock missed on the initial try along the baseline. He almost had it too. He just rolled off. Allensbach, Jonathan Curtis, one of the seniors tonight. You knew Lake Norman wanted to get Curtis involved, considering his final home game most likely in his Lake Norman career. And Curtis has definitely been the spotlight player tonight with a couple of incredible dunks. It's been very impressive. And Hawkins too. Everyone for Lake Norman can dunk, it seems. You don't have to be the typical dunker type player with that body. You can spotlight anyone to flush it for the Osprey as Joyful Hawkins at the line for free throws. Both teams still in the bonus, under 2 minutes to go. Lewis Walker back in, takes his place along the free throw line boundaries next to Curtis. Hawkins missed it, Arrington Jones with it. And if you're Winston-Salem Christian, you got to go right now. 1:47 left, down by 9. Here's Aaron Potter with the three. It's good. He missed the one from earlier, but Potter, a different space along the perimeter that time. Maybe he likes it on that edge of the perimeter line better. It's a 6-point game. Now push it back up to 8 as Trey Green got back in a hurry and got the floater to go. 90 seconds left. Three on the way again. There's another one, Lewis Walker. So 6 quick points for Winston-Salem Christian, and head coach Patrick McCarthy doesn't like that. Got to talk it over as Winston-Salem Christian has put in back-to-back threes to get this back down to a 5-point game. 62-57. Lake Norman leads with 1:23 left. Quick threes, too, for the Lions. They're not taking a whole lot of time to pass that ball around. They're just getting a little smidgen of space and then going right up with the three try. It's kind of ironic that some of those threes are falling now as opposed to maybe when the Lions needed them earlier to keep up with Lake Norman a bit. It's kind of sometimes how it works. You get to the final couple minutes of the game and then the threes start going in and you're wondering, well, why couldn't we have had those maybe earlier in the third quarter or even earlier in the fourth? But sometimes you can't determine when the threes will fall. But they are now for Winston-Salem Christian, and it is a 5-point game. Another teaching opportunity as well for Patrick McCarthy and his assistants. You see them there on your stream screen, however you may be watching tonight, tablet, phone, laptop. So many different ways to watch. You can even let us know how you are watching tonight in the chat over the final minute or so. Sometimes I check in on that chat after the broadcast is over. I go back and watch the entire stream, and that's about the only way sometimes I'm able to keep up with the chat, especially when it's maybe just a solo broadcast. It's kind of tough to keep up with it, but you can watch it after the fact, and you can see all the great engagement that we have throughout. Pretty cool to have that option available. Allen's back, 1:08 to go. Green will drive. No one got in the way of Trey Green. He goes all the way, lays it in. 64-57. Lake Norman ahead by lucky number 7. Under a minute left. Nowhere to go, especially with Allen Spack and Curtis down there for Arrington Jones. Here's a three off. Jones boards it. Gets it over to Walker, and Lewis Walker, another 2 points. He's piling them up here in the second half. Back to a 5-point game with 44 seconds remaining. Well, now it'll be one timeout remaining for Winston-Salem Christian. Lake Norman still has 2 left, so a couple more opportunities. 3 combined timeouts remaining for these two teams where they can extend the final 44 seconds as much as possible. So now if you're Winston-Salem Christian, obviously you take that timeout, kind of play defense now against Lake Norman, but it wouldn't hurt if you could get another 3 to go. But you do need to stop on the other side from the Osprey as Lake Norman breaks the huddle. Have been keeping an eye on Mikey throughout the game tonight. He's on the bench wearing his black uniform tonight. Got a nice looking watch on as well. It's a pretty easy way to identify Mikey, always such a presence out there, but he's such a great teammate. Cheers on everyone, gives everyone some support, and that's what you want to see from a big star like Mikey Williams. He doesn't have a problem taking care of his teammates, letting them know when they've done a good job, and he's always there. He's not leaving. He's been there throughout. That's important because sometimes younger players take a while to learn that, but Mikey hasn't. He's been there throughout the game. Robinson misses on that first free throw. Needs this next one because a 3 on the other end or even a 2 would get this down to an even closer game, but Robinson is pure on the second, so it's a 6-point game, and Winston-Salem Christian just made a big blunder. They turned it over, and it was Arrington Jones who couldn't control it right along the out-of-bounds line. You also have to credit Lake Norman's defense there as well to put Arrington Jones in a tough spot to where he found the ball but he just didn't have enough room to get out of trouble. For those hopping on the stream tonight, you can actually see Mikey Williams right there in the middle of the Lake Norman huddle in the black jacket. He's the one right in front of head coach Patrick McCarthy in the blue shirt. So just goes to show you right there, as we were mentioning a couple moments ago, Mikey's involved in the huddle. He might as well be playing tonight. So it's everything we've seen so far this season has been extra positive for Mikey Williams, and don't see that changing anytime soon. He's been so fun to follow. This entire team has been exciting to follow. Some of the best high school basketball you'll see in the state of North Carolina right here from Lake Norman Christian in Huntersville as we get set to get back underway. 41 seconds remaining. Dimitri McCall initially inbounded it, and he wants the foul, but that will go the other way. The senior Dimitri McCall had it on the inbounds, and then he got the ball right back, trying to go for one of those flashy late game tries for one of the seniors, but McCall couldn't quite get it to go his way. Here's a three to cut it to a 3-point game. 65-62 after the three by Jaden Spillman Martin. And there's that three we were talking about. This game is only separated by 3 points. And that took 11 seconds off the clock, so still 29 seconds remaining, and this thing isn't done yet. The three ball has gotten Winston-Salem Christian back in. Potter hit one. Now Spillman Martin has one. So really three late threes over the last 2 minutes here in the fourth quarter have brought the Lions back. They were down by 10 just a couple minutes ago, and now they're all the way to within 3. Now Winston-Salem Christian's out of timeouts. Lake Norman will have one left. So we'll get set for them to break the huddle and then see how the final 29 seconds goes down. With the three ball bringing the Lions back in the regular season wrap-up. A.J. Allensback will be the one to inbound it. And Winston-Salem will get back out onto the floor as well. Allensback looks to find Green. He does. Not in a situation here where you want to foul, but that's exactly what just happened. Green got fouled. So what you couldn't do there if you were the Lions is to get right up on probably the best free throw shooter for Lake Norman Christian, and that's Trey Green. Fouled him and only took 2 seconds off the clock. Green hits the first. 4-point game. Josiah Evely will come in, and Green back to the line, and he gets both. So big error there for the Lions to crowd Green and then fouled him, and Lions coaching staff not happy at all about that late foul. It's back up to a 5-point game in favor of Lake Norman, and here's Arrington Jones trying to get the 2 points right back, but now time continuing to dribble away a little bit. Bullock will come in. Dimitri McCall, the senior, gets a nice round of applause. Back-to-back for Arrington Jones. Back to a 3-point game. So now if you're Winston-Salem, you're in the exact same position you were in a couple seconds ago when the bad foul occurred. You can guard Trey Green. You can get all up around him, but you just can't foul him right now. Uh-oh, but Jonathan Curtis got away from the defense and slammed it down for an uncontested, unadulterated 2-point flush, and that probably is it. Winston-Salem did a good job of guarding but not fouling all the way down, but then it was Curtis who unleashed another dunk, one of at least 4 dunks for the senior Jonathan Curtis since halftime. Here's Lewis Walker now. So really 2 crucial late game mistakes for Winston-Salem Christian as Jonathan Curtis, A.J. Allensbach, and Clay Robinson, the final 3 of the 4 seniors for Lake Norman, get a round of applause back to the bench.
Shane, you take it out.
Back to a 3-point game, 69-66.
Hey, Shane.
Spillman Martin comes in. He'll guard Fernald with 3 seconds remaining. Bullock not fouled yet, and that's the final. 69-66. Lake Norman wins it by 3. A couple crucial late game mistakes there for Winston-Salem Christian. The foul on Trey Green. They couldn't foul him. They needed to play defense without fouling because there were almost, at that point, still 30 seconds remaining, but it happened. And then the defense fell apart a little bit, and Jonathan Curtis got really the 2 cushion points, if you will, for Lake Norman to propel them to a 69-66 win in most likely the final game of the 2020-2021 regular season. So Lake Norman wins it by 3, and that's it. So for Marcus Burnett, the entire SUV TV team, Corey Hodges saying so long on this Monday night from Huntersville, North Carolina, where Lake Norman gets the win on senior night. Remember the 4 seniors, Clay Robinson, Dimitri McCall, Jonathan Curtis, and A.J. Allensbach, and really all 4 of those played really well, especially Allensbach, and most especially Jonathan Curtis, who was a rim rattler tonight. We saw plenty of highlights as usual, and Mikey's right back there on the floor getting in some dribble moves post-game. So, again, another win for Lake Norman, their 19th of the season. We say so long on a Monday night from Huntersville, North Carolina, where the Osprey wins. So long.